I find music a useful distraction. A focus tool. Keeps the inner voice from wandering. This is what it takes. My process is purely logistical. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a
For what it's worth, I would never have involved your female friend.
Forbid empathy.
Please.
Trust no one. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight. Breathe. Breathe. Calm.
Prepare to be excited.
This is what it takes. If you want to succeed. Hey.
Films I'm finally seeing one a day all June long, and then after, if you're asking, yes, I'll be podcasting. 'Cause movie month's back, and I'll be the man, to watch and podcast all month long. Yeah, movie month's back. 30 straight days again, and I hope each day you come along. Please come along, don't just stay here for this song, 'cause it's movie month time, this is a movie month. Ooh, 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 honey, it's movie month time, yeah, this is a movie month. Ooh, 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 honey, it's movie month time, yeah, this is a movie month. Ooh, 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 please listen to me as I talk movies.
Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Sunday, June 23rd, and you know what that means? That means for the 23rd day in a row, I watched a movie I've never seen before, and now for the 23rd day in a row, I'm here podcasting to you, the people of Earth. Folks, this movie, I was looking forward to seeing the moment it came out, except I waited. I did not see it the moment it came out, because it came out in November, and I thought, I should watch this movie. Maybe we could do it for a different podcast, for Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. But it never happened. And I said, well, I'll just wait and hold off. And then I'll forget about it. And then yesterday I'll remember, wait a second, The Killer with Michael Fassbender, David Fincher. Yes, yes, yes. And that's when tomorrow's movie became tomorrow's movie, and The Killer became today's movie. Chris, if you're listening to this, this is a comic book movie. This counts as a comic book movie. Sorry, that's just the way it goes, because this was based on a French graphic novel called The Killer, or Le Tueur, which came out back in the 90s. Wow. And I liked how it was, it probably was So there are a lot of comics. So it wasn't just 5 or 6 chapters. But I liked how the movie was kind of broken out into chapters and even an epilogue. And I'm getting ahead of myself. I really, really enjoy this movie. I mean, okay, you have a movie about a contract killer and David Fincher's directing. Yes, of course. It's like, already I'm going to sign up. And he wears a bucket hat. Okay, I'm already in. Michael Fassbender? Sure, of course. I mean, I mostly know him as Magneto and as the Neato guy in Inglourious Bastards, but I know that he's a great actor, and he was great in this, and he kind of had to be great in this because this movie, this comic book movie, it completely relies on him. It's almost as if I was going to say there was one scene where he wasn't in, but no. Every scene in this movie, he is a part of. One moment we see Tilda Swinton at the end, and I thought, oh, wow, there's a scene without him in it. He's not there. Oh, and then he walks in. So, I mean, he is just about almost in every single frame. I mean, he isn't in every frame. There are moments where he's not in it, but he is. If he's not in frame, he is going to be in frame in a few minutes, or he's going to be, off camera, walking right into the scene. This felt like as close to... Now, if this was written as a novel, I feel like it would have been written in the first person. I wonder if the comic has that first person kind of, those thought bubbles, which usually thought bubbles are in first person, but they're not always. Then they're not thought bubbles. They're just kind of exposition bubbles. I don't know. You know what I mean if you read comic books. If you're smart enough, if you're intellectual enough, if you're open-minded enough to read comic books and not look at them, or graphic novels, but they're comic books, not look at them as frivolous kids' fare, but look at them as a viable medium, just a kind of visual medium to tell a story, which is exactly what this story is, then you'll, be cool like me and read comics. Read comics. Just try some. Jesus, if you don't. I feel like I'm talking to one person specifically. So this movie, I was surprised. It's a David Fincher movie, and it's not 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's a tick under 2 hours. It took me a couple sittings to watch, only because I have a dog, and that's life. So I watched, I think, the first hour, took my dog out. It's gross, so we didn't do too much. Took her out, kind of got her outside at least a bit, cleaned her out a bit without getting too graphic, and went back in and finished off the rest of the film. It wasn't what I expected it to be. I expected it to be almost like, we watch a contract killer working on some contracts. Like, I thought right away at the beginning, we're going to see an example of what he does. Then we're going to jump into the main story. We see that a lot. It's like a prologue of kind of, this is what he is. This is his preparation. This is what he normally does. Boom, killing, great. And off to the races to the main story. But no, this entire movie is the main story from top to bottom, from T to B. It starts off with him, on a job. We don't know anything about the job. We never find out anything about the job except at the end we find out who hired him. Or I guess along the way we find out who hired him. And he talks about he goes meticulous about his preparation. And then when the time comes, he accidentally shoots the hooker. I'm just assuming that wasn't the guy's wife. I could be wrong. He could just, they just could have a very wonderful, loving, intimate relationship, and she's much, much younger than him. It happens, but I'm assuming that this was a paid lady of the evening. He accidentally kills her, and that's when all kind of shit breaks loose in his world. But there's never crazy action. There's like one really good fight that you consider action. But it's really just kind of watching this guy deal with the repercussions of what happened on his job. He went to do this killing. It took forever for it to finally happen. Like, it took a while for us to get there. And it didn't go right. So he had to cover his tracks. He talked to it's almost like his deal maker. There's this lawyer who kind of puts him up to these deals, and I guess he just runs an assassin ring, and he lets him know that, the shit hit the fan. He goes, go into hiding. He actually told him, didn't he tell him, go to the safe house? Well, he told him to go to the safe house because then at the safe house, we find out that he got there a little late and these two other assassins showed up to try to kill him. They roughed up his girlfriend really bad, but actually the guy there was a female and a male, and the guy roughed up the girlfriend really bad, but she lived, and now he's on a revenge path to find out who did this to his girlfriend. He tracks down the taxi driver because someone mentions there was a green cab. He tracks down the taxi driver who did absolutely nothing wrong. This guy just picked up a fare, paid a fare, picked up a fare, waited, didn't ask any questions, and got paid, and he still ended up dead. I didn't like that, but I realized, wait a second, Michael Fassbender, did we ever get a name? I mean, we got lots of names, but did we get a name? So if we look at the cast, let me see the cast. Michael Fassbender as the killer. I don't think we never get a name, like an actual name. But he used. I'll get to the names he uses, which is pretty great, and right up my alley, like right up my alley. So he needs to now track down who did this to him, and he realizes that if he kills this taxi driver to cover his tracks, which I didn't love, and he then goes back to his original lawyer, the guy who kind of sets everything up, the guy who took him out of law school, they said, and taught him, that he should be doing this. And there's the lawyer and the secretary. He gets into their office, kills the dude with a nail gun. He didn't seem like he planned to, but he did, which was a pretty wild scene. Then he takes the secretary or the assistant, who's in on it. It's not like she doesn't know what's going on. And from her, he gets the name of the two people that were hired and the client. And she did this under duress because she was going to be killed. But it was crazy. She goes, can you please just don't let me disappear. Make it, make it seen. I don't want to disappear because my family will rely on the life insurance. And at one moment she gets everything. He gets everything he needs from her. I like the way they did it. They used this code, and the number in the code, the first letter of the number coincided with how you found them in this old-fashioned file cabinet. Nothing in the cloud, nothing on the internet, nothing that could be hacked into. And he gets the 3 cards. She starts walking away, and he stops, and I'm like, oh crap! Snaps her neck. She falls down the stairs. It looks like an accident. He leaves. Then he goes to track down the first person, who's this dude, this big giant dude in Florida. That's where you get a really good fight scene that ends with him taking the guy out. Obviously, thankfully, he doesn't kill the dog. He kills the cab driver, and that upset me. But really, if he killed the dog, I feel like he would have lost me. He would have lost me there, and he didn't do that. It wasn't like Llewyn Davis, who left the cat in the car with a heroin-addicted jazz musician. No, he just fed the dog some sleeping medication, some stuff to knock him out. But the dog definitely woke up later. But I like that the guy he killed him. Before he killed him, the guy knew who it was and knew it wasn't just. It seemed like a random thing. He recognized him. He called him the Dominican Republican, and because that's where they went to the DR to kill him originally. Ended up roughing up his girlfriend. So from there, he ends up with Tilda Swinton, and I like that the cab driver described her as a Q-tip. And right when he said one of them looked like a Q-tip, I go, oh, that must be Tilda Swinton's character, because she's thin and she's got bright, like bleach blonde hair, or white hair almost. It's like platinum blonde. Tracks her down, and to a restaurant. Really great. Like she's in it for less than 5 minutes. I feel like maybe 5-10 minutes. Great scene where she does all the talking, and I'm watching this. She orders a flight of whiskey, And I'm saying to myself, she said she sent some sort of code to the... I didn't know how much time was left in the movie, so I'm thinking she sent some sort of code to the person at the restaurant to tell him to pour this poison into this drink. And she pulls out a flight of whiskey and turns it to him. He doesn't drink it, but then he drinks the last one that was closest to her. And I thought it was going to be like, the Princess Bride, where there was like she kind of turned it thinking he'll take this one. So she started drinking all the other ones. He drinks the last one. I thought, okay, here it comes. It never came. That wasn't part of it. He takes her outside to kill her. She slips and falls. She says, help a woman up. He shoots her right in the head. And you see she had a knife. So she planned to take him out, but he took her out first. And then I think, oh, it's over. Oh, wait, there's the client who he hired in the first place. And this was interesting. He tracks this guy down. He does his whole subterfuge, joins a gym, and tracks out where he's going to live, copies the key fob for his apartment, and walks right into his apartment, gets the guy off the phone. The guy's freaking out. He's ready to kill him. And the guy goes, and then he realizes who he is. He's like, oh, my God, I didn't know. I just was told that, what happened. So he hired them to kill the guy at the beginning. It went sideways. Then the lawyer called them and said, normally there's an insurance plan to kind of clean things up. The guy says, sure, whatever you need to do. He goes, I had no idea this was going to happen. And the killer, Michael Fassbender, is like, you don't know why I'm here? He's like, no, I don't know why you're here. He goes, well, okay. Well, let it be known that I can come back at any time. Look how easy it was for me. I could poison you. I can make you fall down the stairs. I can make it look like an accident at any time. And he leaves, and he lets him live. And the reason is, he was asked by the lawyer, do you want us to clean it up? And the guy's like, sure, whatever you need to do. I guess this is what you normally do it. He didn't know anything about the girlfriend. He didn't rough up the girlfriend. He didn't break into the house. He didn't do anything. That was Tilda Swinton and the other guy and the lawyer who said, we'll just clean him up. We'll just clean it up and kill him. It's, don't worry about it. This guy was just like, I guess, he just threw money at it. And he saw that. He drew a line. He saw a distinction there. It wasn't like, and it's crazy because he killed the cab driver, but he didn't kill this guy. And it's almost like, now you've seen my face. Now you know I can come get you. And this guy's not going to turn around and turn him in, because if he turns him in, then it blows back on him. Well, why do you even know who he is? Why is he coming to kill you? And boom, then it all blows back on him. And this guy has too much to throw away. So he just says, he just is scared shitless. And the killer lets him go, because it's like, you had nothing, you had no real part in this, and you did not try to kill me or try to, beat up my girlfriend. So he lets him go, and he goes back to the DR, and he lives out his life with the girlfriend. He has enough money, they said, to enjoy life. So that's, I think, hopefully he'll just retire the rest of the way. A lot of it was, there was, voiceover, first person. That's what made me feel like, this was definitely could have been written in the first person in the comic. And I love the voiceover. It's basically him just reiterating his rules over and over and over again. But, and this movie was fairly, it was a drama. It wasn't like a black comedy. It wasn't a lot of laughs. It wasn't really any laughs, except when he used his aliases. He used aliases that if I was any of them, I would be like, wait a minute, you're also named Felix Unger? When I saw that, then a flashback happened, and I think Chris mentioned to me one of the character names that was going to be used back when I was doing Sitcom All Ye Faithful, because he uses Felix Unger and Oscar Madison, of course, from The Odd Couple. He uses Howard Cunningham, the great Howard Cunningham from Happy Days, Reuben Kincaid from The Partridge Family, George Jefferson from The Jeffersons, Archibald Bunker. That's funny. He changed Archie Bunker to Archibald Bunker with the, what is it, umlauts or whatever, the two dots that Motley Crue uses over the U. So it's Archibald Bunker. And Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore. And the one I wasn't sure, I go, wait, Robert Hartley. Who is Robert Hartley? I looked it up. Of course, Robert Hartley was Bob Newhart on the Bob Newhart Show. Hi, Bob. And Sam Malone. Once I saw Malone, I go, wait a second. Sam Malone, great, from Cheers. I loved that little, that was like that fun little joke in the movie that wasn't a lot of laughs. It was it was fun watching Revenge. I don't know. It was enjoyable. It wasn't like a laugh riot. It wasn't laughing really at all. It was enjoyable to watch this meticulous assassin screw up and then have to deal with the repercussions and then literally deal with those who were trying to deal with the repercussions for him. So overall, I just give it 2 big thumbs up. I just love the acting. I love Fincher's directing. He just has this tone, and it's almost like this color in the film that if you say that's David Fincher and you put these movies next to each other, it has that dark blue, sometimes purple. I don't know. It's well done. Fassbender acted cool, looked cool. He made a bucket hat look cool. He enjoys McDonald's. You can't go wrong with that. And he goddamn loves the Smiths. Now, I have to be honest with you. I think I played a Smith song at the beginning of this. I don't know because I haven't put it together yet, but I'm guessing I probably did. Because I was originally going to do Psycho Killer, but he's not a Psycho Killer. And he didn't, but he did run away. Oh. Okay, I've got to stop. I don't know the Smiths at all. All I know is I grew up in the 80s, and there was the popular music, there was the cheesy rock music, and I gravitated towards that. Then there was the fancy, indie alternative type of music, and I always thought of like REM and U2 as that, but I grew into them. They also, I think, are a little more accessible. The Smiths, I don't know anything about. I know Morrissey, and Morrissey was in the Smiths. I don't think I could tell you one song. I didn't recognize any song in this. I don't think I did. I recognize Morrissey's voice and the tone and the type of music, but I don't know any of this. It's a big black hole, but he definitely, enjoys the Smiths and listens to them a lot, and he likes listening to music while he's on the job. And I loved the beginning when it was the blown assassination, where we hear him talking like voiceover. When we see him, the music is in his ears and we don't, like, he's talking. Then when they show through the scope, the music is playing and it's like, that's what he's seeing. We're seeing what he's seeing, what we're seeing, what he's seeing. And I love that back and forth. I thought that was really well done with the sound mixing there. The soundtrack was great. I just don't know any of those songs, and I don't anticipate, like The Cure is a band I want to do a deep dive into, but the Smiths, I don't care really about. Someone waving to me? I don't know. Nope. I think that's it. I think I'm done here. I don't think I have anything else to add. I really thoroughly enjoyed this film, and it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, so I don't see it going anywhere fast. Though sometimes these streamers want to take. I feel like they take some of their originals down because they don't want to pay royalties. But isn't that why we had the strike in the first place? Not we, but the writers and the actors and all that fun stuff. So I don't know. I don't think this one's going anywhere because this is a well received, big budget, big time movie. And it's funny because with these Netflix movies, they come, they get attention, and then they just kind of drift off. Like, I can't think of a Netflix movie that was like, whoa, and it's talked about months and months and months and months later. The series get that, but I don't see the movies. I'm trying to think, is there a movie that was huge? But when they're in the theaters, they're huge, and they get talked about if they do make it big. Then they kind of, there's word of mouth, and they kind of, they're in the zeitgeist more, where with Netflix and streaming movies, they're just kind of, they're there and they might be forgotten. But not by me. I really enjoyed that. And I'll have to say it is going to 100% be a better movie than the movie I watch tomorrow. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy the movie tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say. Until then, though, my friends, listen, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Mastodon.social, and Blue Sky at Geek Mentality. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. The website is fansnotexperts.com. Oh, Geek Mentality on Goodreads, if you want to see what I'm reading. Is it Geek? Yeah, I think. It might just be Mikey C. And Geek Mentality on Letterboxd. That's what I meant to say. Letterboxd, where there's a list of every movie month movie all the way back from 2014. And you can also find a list of all the horror movies I watched for Slash and all the great movies I watched for Fine Movies, Fine Spirits, all under Geek Mentality, under my lists on Letterboxd. So follow me on Letterboxd. And that's it. I am done here. Really good movie. Really enjoyed it. Recommend it. And I will see you tomorrow. I don't have tomorrow off. This is the first Monday in about a month that I haven't taken off. So regular week tomorrow, but I'll probably get up early and watch the movie in the morning. You probably won't hear from me until later in the day or that evening. And then it's still, I say regular week, but I have half days on Fridays during the summer. And then next week's just is it a 3-day week? Because we have the 4th of July and the 5th of July off. I would like the 3rd of July off too, but I don't think they're gearing that to us. But that has nothing to do with this movie or movie month at all, because next week, by that time, movie month is done. In fact, next week, today, a week from today, is the last day of movie month, which is crazy because I get all amped up to start watching, and then you start watching and go, oh my God, I have so many movies left. And now all of a sudden I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm on day 23. I just watched 23 movies in a row, and I'm really just kind of in the tail end, the final week. The final week of movie month. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, that didn't come out right, but you know what I mean. So that's it, my friends. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And until tomorrow, my friends, here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kind of funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kind of handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.